Okay, I'm about to start printing. This is a piece of Borosilicate Glass, aluminium sheet under that, heat pad under that. And I'm going to put some of this on. This bed has just been cleaned off, like washed off with the stuff I had on for the previous few prints. Just get the top off. As you see, it is purple. Actually, there's still a bit of water gone under this sheet, but that'll dry out. This is quite a biggish print. I'm pressing quite firmly and going this way. One thing about having a purple, it does help you know where it's been put down. So I'm putting this on quite thick, I would say. Not pressing majorly hard, but quite a bit on there. And basically now I'm going to leave that about a quarter of an hour, and after about a quarter of an hour this colour of the purple will disappear, vanish. Disappearing purple. So I'll come back in about a quarter of an hour when that colour has vanished. Well, it's been about 20 odd minutes or so since I put this Elmer's glue stick on, and as you can see the colour's almost, well, getting even enough vanished. So I just plug my printer in. I'll move the camera to point at the LCD 12864 now. I'll turn off the lights for this because it's hard to see otherwise. It dazzle out the display. So here's my LCD. Print from SD. I'm going to print off the SD card. Rocket. I want the main sort of rocket. First of all, it's going to heat up the heat bed to 65 degrees. This is to indicate when there's a fan to blow on the part, that is, but it's turned off at the moment, so it's not like animated and there's no percentage under it to indicate that the fan is not on. That one's for the nozzle. That will come to 245. Notice a gap in the line there. That's to tell us the temperature is actually on. That will go to a solid bar when the temperature is reached, and it will be, well, switching on and off after that. And for the nozzle, it has a tiny little dot right at the bottom of the tip. I'll try and show you that once the heat bed's warmed up. You see that's coming to temperature reasonably quick, and you see there the heat bed's 64, 65. You'll see this line go to solid. See, there it goes, and now the nozzle is starting to switch on and it's aiming for 245. You see the little dot there to indicate the temperature is switched on. The temperature is off on the heat bed at the moment, so it's cooling down, but once the thermostat gets triggered it'll switch back on and you'll see that little gap appear in the bar again. Same for the dot there, is that will sort of, the dot will go away once it reaches 245, but once the temperature drops the dot will come on to indicate it's heating the nozzle back up. So that's the nozzle, this is the heat bed. I've never known this 100% ever change. It says FR, but some say it's not feed rate, it's to do with an overall speed rate. I think that's done under ramps or something, I don't know. I do have an SD card in this LCD 128 sort of adjustable stand here. I'll show you a bit more about the stand just now. I have to put the lights on for that. Actually, I'll show you now. Yeah, just zoom out a bit. Put the light on. So adjustable stand SD card in the side there. Knob for the control, holes for the beeper, reset button, emergency stop sort of thing, or for contrast if you need to adjust that. See how the light dazzles out the display there. I'll come back when it's getting near the temperature. So you can see that the nozzle's at 240, well it's just gone up to 244. You'll see how the little dot's gone out there as it's reached its temperature. And now, just now it's going to start printing, you can probably hear it. So first of all it's going to do like a homing, then it will start doing the auto leveling routine. Got a bit of a squeak on my threaded rods here, even though they have been well greased. So this is using this BLTouch here to do the auto leveling. A big thumbs up for this BLTouch. See how the pin it's down at the moment, that will touch the bed and indicate the zero position, basically the zero height. Like so, we'll come back down and check it, recheck it. And you see how the pins is under servo sort of control switch signal off the ramps control board. Now it's going to do the auto leveling routine, so it's going to test the height here in the middle and over here, same across the middle and across the back in 3 points across each one. So there's 9 points altogether. That can be changed in marling if you wish. You can do more sort of test points, but notice the pin there on the BLTouch. This BLTouch will work on any surface. Notice I'm on glass with an aluminium sheet underneath it, so it's quite reflective. And after its last sort of probe here, I ask it to come up quite high so I can clean off any bit of filament that might be oozing out the nozzle before it starts printing. I also ask it to go left quite slowly. I use long nose pliers. Sorry, this is going out of focus here. Just give that a bit of a quite slowly, so if I need to, I can get in with the long nose pliers and get any more ooze off, and then it comes in to start printing. It does take a little bit before the plastic starts getting laid down. There we are, start now. I do ask for a skirt, which is like a bit of extra spare plastic around the outside. That gives a chance for the nozzle to start flowing plastic and make a start on the print. So this is the main body of the rocket engine. This is a tall print. It's 180 millimeters high. That's presuming it all works all right, doesn't cause any problems. One thing I wanted to try actually is I wanted to print something quite tall to check my vertical alignment sort of thing when the printer's printing, because I have had a slight issue with, I think, vertical alignment. So I wanted something useful to print. And I think this money box for UK pound coins, the new pound coins, will be ideal if it, well, eventually it will work, make it work, so to speak. Have I got this other light on? No, I haven't, sorry about that. Let's get this other light in position a bit. Yeah. Now this does have fins on this model, so I'm quite surprised it's almost just doing a circular shape at the moment. There's one of the fins starting now. There's another fin. Like 4 fins for the base of the rocket engine. There's a bit worried there. Well, it's only 12 minutes and you might see that the fins are curling there. They're very, well, quite thinnish, relatively speaking. I don't know whether to put a raft on. I don't like putting rafts on. I might have to. Or I might just put some mousies, I think some people call them. So I've moved the head out the way and you can see how much this is curling here. So here I am looking at the model in Tinkercad, and I've put like a very thin hollow hole there to chop the base off the bottom a bit to level it off and such like. If you notice, it's cutting a bit off the base, but it's not even really touching the fins here. So obviously the fins are a little bit up compared to the base, and that is why it's been curling, is because these fins have not been really touching the base very well, the bed, because of that gap. I'll just increase this a bit actually. See how that goes darker there? So that will be actually touching the fins there if I cut that off there. So I've cut that off by combining. Now I'll do a D, just press the D key, see how that's come down there. That puts it onto the base of the bed basically. I'll save this and I'll print this out as iteration number 2 of the main body. I think that should be better, obviously, hopefully, and hopefully those fins won't curl up because they will be actually touching the bed as it's starting to print.